When you think of ancient Roman food, your mind probably jumps to grand feasts, roasted meats, and plenty of wine, right? Delicious. Sure. But what if I told you the true flavor of ancient Rome? The secret ingredient that was in everything from humble stews to imperial banquets is something you've probably never even heard of. Get ready, because ancient Rome had a secret weapon in its kitchen, and it built an empire. So, what is this elusive secret ingredient? Forget fancy truffles or exotic spices, because ancient Rome's flavor superpower was a fermented fish sauce called garum. Now, before you wrinkle your nose and think fish sauce, understand this: garum was as ubiquitous in ancient Roman cooking as salt and pepper are today, maybe even more so. Every single recipe we find from ancient Rome, if it calls for any kind of seasoning or liquid, often means garum. It added a powerful, savory, salty, umami kick to everything from meat dishes and vegetable stews to even sweet desserts. It was the flavor that defined an empire, and it disappeared from Europe for centuries after Rome fell. So, what was garum made of? And how did they make it? It sounds a bit unappetizing, but it was pure ancient genius, a masterclass in controlled fermentation. Imagine this: whole small fish, often anchovies, mackerel, or even fish guts, were layered in huge outdoor vats with coarse salt and sometimes a few aromatic herbs. Then they were left to sit in the scorching sun for weeks, or even months. The magic happened as enzymes within the fish, combined with the salt and the heat, slowly broke down the fish proteins. The liquid that drained off was the prized garum. It was then filtered to varying degrees, from a clear amber liquid to a thicker, murkier paste. This wasn't rotting in a bad way. It was a natural enzymatic process that created an incredibly complex, deep, savory flavor, known today as umami, along with a powerful saltiness. So why go through all that trouble for stinky fish juice? Because garum offered incredible benefits that no other ancient ingredient could. It provided a rich, savory depth of flavor that elevated every dish. It's the taste of satisfaction. In a world where salt was precious, garum provided a potent, flavorful salt source. It was packed with amino acids and essential minerals, adding vital nutrition to a grain and vegetable-heavy diet. Its high salt content and fermented nature also gave it some preservative qualities useful in cooking. Garum was the secret to making simple, everyday ingredients like beans, lentils, and vegetables taste absolutely divine. It transformed basic fare into something exciting, accessible to rich and poor alike. Making garum was a huge, incredibly important, and let's be honest, probably very smelly industry. Archaeological sites across the Roman Empire, especially along the coast of Spain, North Africa, and Italy, have revealed massive garum production factories. These weren't small-time operations. They were industrial scale. Workers would process tons of fish, creating a potent aroma that probably wafted for miles downwind. Garum was then poured into distinctive amphorae and shipped all across the vast Roman Empire. It was a massive trade network, fueling the Roman appetite for this unique flavor. When I say garum was in everything, I mean it. It wasn't just a side condiment. It was a fundamental part of the Roman flavor profile. For common Romans, a simple meal of lentils, vegetables, and bread would be brought to life with a generous splash of garum. It added that essential salty, savory punch that made bland staples delicious. In the kitchens of the wealthy, master chefs used garum in incredibly sophisticated ways. They mixed it with honey for sweet and sour sauces, blended it with wine and herbs for complex marinades, and stirred it into almost every dish: meats, fish, vegetables, even some surprising desserts. It truly was the backbone of Roman cuisine. Just like today, there wasn't just one type of garum. There were different grades, qualities, and price points, from the highly prized to the everyday and even the truly bargain bin. The highest quality garum was called garum sociorum, made from tuna or mackerel intestines, and was incredibly expensive. It was the extra virgin garum, reserved for the elite. More common versions, often just called liquamen, were made from smaller, whole fish and were widely available. And then there was muria, a much cheaper, coarser brine from the leftover fish mash. So, whether you were a pauper or an emperor, there was a garum for you. Garam's role went far beyond just flavoring food. It was even used as a drink, a medicine, and sometimes even a form of currency. Roman soldiers on long march would sometimes drink a diluted mix of garum and water, called posca, for hydration and a quick energy boost. Its salt content and amino acids were perfect for replenishing electrolytes. Ancient physicians sometimes prescribed garum for ailments, believing it had medicinal properties. Its antiseptic qualities from the salt could have been genuinely beneficial for some external applications or digestive issues. And in certain situations, its high value meant it could even be used in barter or trade. So, if garum was so amazing, why isn't it on every grocery store shelf today? Its decline mirrors the fall of the Roman Empire itself. As the Roman Empire fragmented and trade routes became dangerous and expensive, the vast garum industry collapsed. The specialized knowledge and large-scale production methods were lost. Local populations started to rely more on other forms of salt and simpler flavorings. Over time, fermented fish sauces continued to exist in other parts of the world, particularly in Southeast Asia. But in Europe, garum largely vanished, becoming a forgotten culinary secret for centuries. But here's the exciting part. In recent years, chefs and food historians are rediscovering the magic of garum. Thanks to archaeological discoveries and a renewed interest in historical cooking, we're seeing garum make a comeback. You can now find artisanal versions of ancient-style fish sauces, and chefs are experimenting with it, bringing that lost Roman flavor back to life. The true secret ingredient in ancient Roman cuisine wasn't exotic or rare. It was a testament to their ingenuity and their mastery of fermentation. It was a flavor so powerful, so essential, that it literally helped fuel an empire. And now, you know its incredible story.